Hello people! Check out my new hair! So I am going on a trip. I'm going on a 5 days trekking trip in southern Thailand and I'm about to pack my bags. So come pack with me and you can see what kind of stuff I bring with me on the trekking trip. We start off with my backpack and toiletries. Depending on how long I'm going, I generally also try to bring hair conditioner if I'm gonna be going for multiple days because we don't want no matted hair. So that's the first. Some wet wipes, and I also bring a spare Ziploc bag to put any kind of stuff that I want to bring out with me. Like, if I use a wet wipe and or toilet paper or tissue paper and stuff like that, I want to be able to put it in a Ziploc bag to bring it back out. And then more toiletry slash bathroom related stuff is this thing that I have. It is a titanium shovel for bathroom usage, and I actually packed this in with my anchor, my fly sheet anchor, because they fit in nicely in here. And so that is my shovel. And then I've got this. It's originally like a nasal rinse bottle, but I use this for cleaning and stuff because we want clean butts. Next is a hydration system. So I have with me a water filter, which I keep like at a pocket that's pretty accessible because I don't want to be carrying so much water because it's heavy, and being able to filter water along the way means I just literally have to only carry like a liter or so. And then there's a hydration pack. It goes in the back of my backpack. And then so hydration system, water filter, hydration pack, and then a cup that I hang outside my backpack in case I want to filter the water and drink it right then. And then next would be eating system, which is one single spoon, okay, and then these are my plates and bowls. It folds up really conveniently. Like if you have not seen this before, I highly recommend that you get one because first of all, it's very cheap. It's like 30 baht or something, and I am so forgetful. I lose things all the time, and so this is like very easy to use. It flattens out, packs well, carries well, it weighs almost nothing, which is crucial when you do multi-days trek. Yeah, so it folds up to this, and that is my eating system. There you go. First aid in waterproof bag, and then I've got some spare coffee sachets, and obviously oral rehydration salt, which is what I put in my water every day when I do trekking. It just generally prevents dehydration, it prevents cramps, and it just gives you that little bit of an extra energy boost. And then for footwear, so generally if I'm trekking overseas, these are the boots that I bring, but usually trekking in Thailand means a lot of very difficult terrain, and so having like very heavy footwear is not helpful. So I've got my trail shoes for general trekking, and then 2 pairs of socks so I could alternate the laundry. And because this trek that we're gonna go on is full of leeches, so leech prevention socks, which you all is gonna get to see me wearing them, and then camp shoes because our feet need pampering after a full day of walking. So that's the whole footwear setup. And then we've got all the electronics, which is my power bank, all the cables for my watch, for my headphone, charging head, and then headlamp and fairy lights because it's essential, of course, and a fan because it does get pretty hot sometimes, and this is very handy for starting a fire. And of course all the electronics goes into this dry bag. Some general light tools. I have my
mini saw, and then some pine wood that is a lot easier to start fire, especially when the weather is really wet, and a little handy knife.
Okay, and then sleep system. So I have got a brand new hammock in purple, which I am super excited about. I will do a separate video on this once we set it up on the trek. But I even have purple carabiners that goes with it. Super excited about this. So hammock, and then I have my fly sheet. This is the ultralight one, which is, by the way, it feels really thin and flimsy, and it feels like it could tear at any moment. But the perk of this is like it's so lightweight. So my bed, my roof, and then I have a sleeping bag, which inside is also purple, by the way. Can you tell I love purple? This one I am kind of still contemplating whether I'm bringing it or not, because it is about 1 kilogram, and I'm gonna weigh the entirety of my bag and then decide. But it does get pretty cold in the jungle, and so I don't know, we shall see. So we have this. These are all my furniture system, and then also my camping chair. So these 4 are my creature comforts, basically. And then inside my backpack, because it's probably gonna rain like almost every single day, and just having the rain cover on its own is not quite enough to, you know, keep everything dry. So I do have like a pack liner, and then clothings. I have this set of clothes which I will be sleeping in, and then 1 set of trekking clothes, and then rain jacket, down jacket, towel, and this is about it. All of which will go into here. So I have 2 dry bags, one for electronics and one for clothes. Yeah, because we don't want any of these too wet. Even if like the chair gets wet or whatever, is fine. But yeah, these 2 are pretty crucial. These dry bags from Nature Hike has now become like one of my favorites for just general travel, because they are so much thinner than like the traditional plastic dry bags. They weigh almost nothing, and because it's a vacuum pack, okay, you can compress your stuff to really small and tight, which is great if you have a lot of stuff, basically. Almost done. And then some supplements, etc. So I have my caffeine pill, which is a lot easier than having to brew coffee. My magnesium glycinate, nicotine, okay? And then one thing that I used to always bring on my trek is like an inflatable pillow, but I don't anymore. So that's getting retired from the regular packing list. And then also 2 extra Dyneema slings and 2 extra carabiners. They're really handy for, I don't know, hanging up the pack or just setting up extra stuff, and they weigh almost nothing, the slings. The carabiners do weigh a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, it's, you know, it doesn't matter. But also, check this out, guys. We're twinning, we're matching. Okay, and then I also have my trekking poles. They come in a pair. Generally in Thailand, because you constantly have to use at least one, if not both hands, to kind of like climb and hold on to things, having 2 poles is not super practical. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm just gonna bring both anyway, because there's always somebody who, you know, doesn't have one, and so I usually loan one out to someone else. And then also very crucial, talcum powder. It's so easy to feel like a lot better, drastically quickly better when you're like super muggy and super like, you know, sweaty. Like just a few seconds with this, it really helps. And then obviously my slide pack, also purple. I clip it onto my pack where, you know, I put my hat. Oh, matchy! I put my hat in there, put my power bank in here, my phone, and any little tiny things that I want to constantly have easy access to. It goes in here. Yeah, and we're done packing! Ta-da! I'm gonna put everything together and start weighing my pack and see if I need to like readjust and take things out. But yeah. Oh, almost forgot. Also, a ground sheet. It folds up. I'll show you guys in a bit. It folds up into this little pocket. There we go, super convenient. And again, this is kind of unnecessary, but I don't super love setting my stuff on the ground, especially if it's wet soil. So very helpful in general, like sitting around, setting things out. And when I pack and repack, which happens every day if you're constantly traveling, it's a lot easier for me if I can just kind of like lay things out and, you know, have like a overview of like what I have and things like that. So yeah, this is probably like maybe 250 grams, 200 grams. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Heavy! Not bad.
Yeah. 11 kilos.